Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Joanna Butler, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Lance Corporal Adrian Van Staden. This evening, we are honoured to acknowledge Vice Admiral Jan Willem Hartman, Commander, Material and IT Command, Netherlands Ministry of Defence, accompanied by Air Vice Marshal Graham Edwards, Head Aerospace Systems Division, Capability Acquisition and Sustainment Group. Mr. Nick Rasmussen, Senior Security Fellow, McCain Institute for International Leadership. Veteran Family Advocate Commissioner Ms. Gwen Cherney and the incoming Veteran Family Advocate Commissioner Ms. Annabelle Wilson, and their accompanying delegations. We warmly welcome Mr. Greg Hood, representing the Air Force Association, and representatives from the Australian Army Junior Leadership Forum who are in attendance. As always, we welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial and students on behalf of Raymond Terrace Public School, visiting from Raymond Terrace, New South Wales. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is God by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Students, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones, buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Flying Officer Frank Sidney Hawkes. Frank Hawkes was born in the Sydney suburb of Newtown on the 26th of June, 1911, the son of Albert and Violet Hawkes. Frank grew up in Sydney, going on to work as a fitter and turner with New South Wales Railways for 5 years before taking up a position as senior clerk at Cash Orders Limited. In 1938, he married Jean, and his son, Philip, was born to the couple the following year. Frank Hawkes enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force on the 20th of June, 1942, at the age of 30. After initial training, he began training as a navigator. In early November, he embarked at Melbourne, bound for overseas service. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, he was one of almost 27,500 RAAF pilots, navigators, bomb aimers, wireless operators, air gunners, and flight engineers who joined squadrons based in Britain throughout the course of the war. Hawkes arrived in Canada in December and attended Aerial Observer School in Regina, the capital city of the Canadian province of Saskatchewan. In April 1943, Hawkes received his navigator's badge and was granted a commission. He traveled to England and was transferred to number 29 Operational Training Unit in early September. Based at RAF North Luffenham, this unit trained night bomber crews using the Vickers Wellington twin-engined long-range medium bomber. On the 14th of June, 1944, Flying Officer Hawkes transferred to number 97 Squadron, part of Bomber Command. Number 97 Squadron was based at RAF Station Coningsby in Lincolnshire. A few months later, on the 27th of August, 1944, Hawkes was the navigator aboard a Lancaster that took off from Coningsby for operations against Königsberg in Germany. Nothing further was heard from the aircraft after takeoff. It did not return to base. It was later established that the aircraft crashed into the sea near Denmark. Only one crew member survived and was taken prisoner. The remaining members of the crew were killed. They were Sergeant James Bell, Pilot Officer William Bryans, Flight Sergeant Noel Keyes, Flying Officer Thomas McCurdy, Flight Sergeant Trevor Owen, Pilot Officer Max Stern, and Flying Officer Frank Hawkes, who was 33 years old. Today, he is commemorated at Runnymede Memorial. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, amongst almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Flying Officer Frank Sidney Hawkes, who gave his life for us, for our freedom, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff, and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.